So, Thursday, August 22nd, I had the pleasure of attending AMC's Cornetto Trilogy Marathon. For those who don't know, the Cornetto Trilogy is Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, and The World's End, also known as the Blood and Ice Cream Trilogy. This is going to be a review for The World's End, but at the same time, I'm going to be discussing the events at the marathon, and it was just a fantastic day. So I feel like somebody should know, and internet, I choose you to know. So, Marie and I get out to the theater pretty early, probably 2:30. We get out there, and we decide to walk around the mall. Since it's a theater attached to a mall, we decide to walk around the mall a little bit to kill some time. And around 4, I guess it was, we get back to the theater and we line up to get our stuff. The stuff that we got is Newton Haven Golden Mile shirt, which includes all the pubs on the back from the movie, and the badge that I showed you earlier. So we get our stuff and we eventually are able to get inside the theater. We go in, we have a seat, and it starts getting packed pretty quick. It had a high attendance rate. I believe they said about 210 people got tickets before they cut it off. So it was a fairly full theater. So we get in there, and they were doing special trivia to win prizes for the movies. The first time they asked a couple of questions. I wasn't able to get anything, so that happens. Then they had a opening message from Simon Pegg, Edgar Wright, and Nick Frost about the movie. It's basically them saying, "This is us, and you're about to watch this movie, have fun." So nothing too special. And then Shaun of the Dead starts. I personally have never seen Shaun of the Dead in theaters. I was 14 when it came out, so I had no ability to go. So that was a little unfortunate, but seeing it on the big screen for the first time was a fantastic experience. The movie is great. Everybody's seen it at this point. It's just a huge movie, but as far as the ranking in the trilogy goes, I would say it's probably my third favorite, but just understand that does not make it any less. Each of these films are so grand that it's hard to choose an order, but I would honestly have to put Shaun down there. So that was nice. Then after Shaun of the Dead, they go and do a second trivia session. They asked who the famous director was that stabbed Nicholas Angel in Hot Fuzz, Peter Jackson. Then the question that I got called upon for, thankfully, was what famous action star has a street named after them in the film? Chuck Norris picked me, I got it. As a prize, I was fortunate enough to get an official theatrical one-sheet. For the record, that's 27 inches by 40 inches. An official theatrical one-sheet for Shaun of the Dead. I already have a one-sheet for The World's End because Maria works at AMC, so I had that, and I was just ecstatic to get the one-sheet for Shaun of the Dead. So, done with that, opening from Simon, Edgar, and Nick again, then Hot Fuzz starts. I have seen Hot Fuzz in theaters before, came out in 2007, so it was still nice to see it in theaters again. I probably watched it 2-3 times when it was in theaters originally, and then got the chance to watch it again, and it was fantastic. I still love it, still a great movie, and just, if I had to rank it in the trilogy, I would probably say it's my favorite movie in the trilogy. It's just a wonderful movie. Then Hot Fuzz ends. They do another round of trivia questions. Unfortunately, I'd already won a prize at this point, but I was with Maria. So I was like, Maria, prepare yourself, get this. And they go and they ask a couple of questions. The second question, which Maria was called upon for, is what year does the movie start? Does The World's End start in flashbacks? 1990. Maria got it, and woohoo, another prize. They come up, they bring it up, and it's a poster. And it's like, what poster is it? I look at her, she starts unraveling it. Hot Fuzz. Hot Fuzz. I now have all 3 Cornetto Trilogy posters. Official one-sheets. Yes! Now I just need to find frames for them, which is extremely difficult to do for a decent price. I'm finding them all for $50 maybe. It's not good. Okay, so the trivia session ends, all prizes given away. Little opening message from Simon Edgar Nick, and then previews. Nothing too interesting. Previews. Then the movie starts. World's End. Let's do this. So now, here we are. Time for a review for The World's End. The World's End is the 3rd movie in the Blood and Ice Cream / Cornetto Trilogy, and the trilogy is directed by Edgar Wright, written by Simon Pegg, starring Simon Pegg and Nick Frost, etc. The World's End is about a group of college friends who get back together to attempt something called the Golden Mile. 12 pubs, 1 mile, 5 guys, 1 night. When they get back to their old hometown, Newton Haven, weird shit starts happening. And it just escalates from there. It gets crazier and crazier as the movie goes on. This movie was a lot heavier, I guess you can say, than the other movies in the trilogy. Dealt with much darker themes, including addiction, alcoholism, whatever you want to call it. Either way, deals with a lot heavier themes. It's a really strong movie. It's hilarious when it needs to be, it's emotional when it needs to be, and it's action-packed when it needs to be. The acting, as usual, is fantastic. The writing is fantastic. The soundtrack is great. It's definitely nice to finally have another movie in the Cornetto Trilogy. The whole thing, if I had to rank it in the trilogy, my trilogy rankings would be Hot Fuzz, The World's End, and Shaun of the Dead. Once again, I reiterate as earlier, it's not to say any less of the other films like Shaun of the Dead. It's really hard to put them anywhere, and that's just how I would place it. I've already seen The World's End twice, and I plan on seeing it plenty more times. It's just fantastic. If you're a fan of the Cornetto Trilogy, check it out, definitely. And if you've never seen Spaced, watch Spaced before, and you'll notice recurring actors that were also in Spaced, including Tyres. You'll find out who Tyres is if you haven't seen Spaced, but if you've seen Spaced, you know exactly who Tyres is. He actually plays a larger role rather than a zombie in the background of Shaun of the Dead. But the whole day, the whole trilogy, it was just amazing. I was so glad to get to attend it, and I can't wait to see where the 3 of them go again, whether it's starting another trilogy, just making more movies together. I don't care. These men are some of the best people in film, and I love them, and I can't wait to see what they do next. So if you've stuck around this far, I know we're 10 minutes in, but if you've stuck around this far, I really appreciate it. If you have any recommendations of movies that you'd like for me to review, just let me know in the comments, send me a message, doesn't matter. Just let me know, I'll check them out and I'll do a review for you if I haven't already seen them. And if you have any comments at all, just let me know. I'm always willing to talk film with people. And yeah, thanks for watching.